Hi, everyone, and welcome to the NACAC Rural Small Town SIG College Spotlight on Bowdoin College. My name is Evan Schoaf, and I'm so excited to get to introduce you to our wonderful school. So we're a four-year private suburban college, and we're undergraduate only, which means no graduate schools or professional schools. It's just the undergraduates. We're located in Brunswick, Maine, which is a coastal town in Maine, and I'll show you where that is on the next slide. We've got an undergraduate population of just under 2,000 students, so about 500 students per entering class. I also have some statistics on our first generation students. 15% of the student body, a little over a third are students of color, and a little over 15% are Pell eligible. As we've advanced our outreach and accessibility work in the admissions office and throughout the college, we've seen those numbers increase, and we expect to see those numbers continue to increase. Our five most popular majors are government and legal studies, economics, math, English, and biology. But I do want to mention that we have popular majors spanning the humanities, social sciences, and natural sciences, and there is support no matter what you're studying. Our six-year graduation rate is 95%. We're really proud of how high that is, and I think that's a reflection of the excellent academic advising and support that we offer, and I'll talk about that a bit later on. A fun fact about Bowdoin, we were the first college in the United States to go test optional in 1969. We're also very proud about that, and when I talk about admissions, we can talk a bit more about our test optional policy. So if you see that little blue dot up where the shaded state is, that is Brunswick, Maine. Yes, we're all the way up there, but even though we are a bit northern, we are still quite connected. So we have both an Amtrak train station and a bus station just at the foot of campus that can bring you to Portland, which is Maine's largest city. It has the airport in a half hour, or directly to Boston, including the Boston airport, in 2 hours. And thus, with that connection to Boston, we're connected to New York and cities all over the country and the world. Brunswick is a really nice college town, about 22,000 residents, and the college and the town have a really great connection. And we want our students to really get to know not only the residents of Brunswick, but the residents of Maine, and really get to know this beautiful state. So part of the program at Bowdoin that we like to emphasize is embracing Maine, both in and outside the classroom. It's a beautiful state with great people, and we want our students to get to know how great Maine is. So we do this in a few ways. We have orientation trips, or O trips, which all entering first year students go on. This can be maybe traveling to go hiking somewhere up in northern Maine, or it could be traveling to eastern Maine and working with some indigenous tribes that live there. It could be even staying closer to Brunswick and Portland and doing some community service work. No matter what your O trip is, you will be meeting new people and learning more about Maine. We also have a community host program. This is open for any student, regardless of whether you're coming from West Coast or from within Maine. It's open for everyone, and this is a way where residents of Brunswick get matched up with students. And so this is your rock in Brunswick, Maine, and students really love this. It's a great way to have a family in your college town, someone you can rely on. It's a really great program. We also recognize that we're offering a world-class education, and we are a smaller school, and we want to make sure that we're expanding the outreach of our academic program. And so we allow residents in nearby towns to audit classes. This is especially popular in foreign language classes because it's a free way for residents to learn a language. But we also think that it can provide a really excellent augmentation to the academic program. Let's say if you have a Vietnam veteran sitting in on one of your history classes, that provides a really stellar academic experience. So the main thing about Bowdoin's academic program is that we emphasize collaborative, hands-on, discussion-based learning. We have some lecture classes, but there are pretty few of them, and most of the time you'll be in an experience like this, where it's you and your classmates and the professor sitting around a table, people are sharing and presenting. It's a really great way to engage with the subject matter. So some basics about the Bowdoin College academic program is that we really embrace the liberal arts. We have relatively few course requirements, so there's no one required class that every student is required to take. We do require that students take a first year seminar, which are small classes. take them in your first year, and they introduce you to the reading and writing intensive academic program that Bowdoin offers. And you really learn how to become a college student. You learn how to share your work, share your essays, present a problem set at the board. It shows you that you can be wrong in front of your classmates, and that's okay. It's part of the learning process. We have really dedicated professors. So when I said earlier on that we're undergraduate only, that means that our professors are fully focused on you. So all the research opportunities, all the other opportunities to connect with faculty, purely focused on our undergraduates. We also have really great facilities and funding. So not only on campus where we have labs and museums, which I'll talk about on the next slide, but we also have some off-campus opportunities. Our Schiller Coastal Study Center is about 20 minutes away from us and is currently being renovated to have expanded lab space for both marine and earth science studies. I'm also going to have a dining hall and classrooms. We're really excited about that. We also have a research station on Kent Island, which is in the Bay of Fundy off Canada. It's another opportunity for students to do research. Research is such an important part of Bowdoin's academic program. And no matter what you're studying, the sciences, the social sciences, the humanities, research can start as early as your first year and can be the result of just a simple knock on your professor's office door. They can start out, let's say, doing some document review for your econ professor in your first year, and then that can progress to a summer opportunity and to opportunities later on. But we really emphasize getting that hands-on experience. Keeping in that zone, we really encourage our students to pursue off-campus study. Over half of our juniors will typically study off-campus, and that can be either studying abroad. We partner with over 100 programs around the world. There's also some domestic study options that we encourage for students as well. So this is one of our museums. This is the Art Museum. We also have an Arctic Museum. And the reason I mention these is because I want to make clear that there is support and research opportunities no matter what you're studying. So for example, with the Art Museum, if you are a visual arts student, you as a senior project can actually curate an exhibit in the museum and present it. With the Arctic Museum, we have an Arctic Studies program, which isn't a major, but it's a special academic program where students can work with the exhibits in the museum. They can sometimes travel up into far northern Canada, for example, to do research with faculty. So a really great opportunity to explore your interests and make sure that you're getting that hands-on experience. I think this is a good transition to the advising and support that we have at Bowdoin. So every student gets a pre-major advisor, and this advisor works with you closely. We also have offices like the Center for Learning and Teaching, which can match students up with free tutors and provide academic support. Thinking back to that 95% graduation rate, I think it's all the support we have, which is why we get such a good graduation rate. So thinking about daily life at Bowdoin outside of academics, of course, is very important. Housing is guaranteed all 4 years. The vast majority of students live on campus all 4 years. You start out in the first year bricks, and then a lot of sophomores will live in our college houses, which have budgets so they can organize activities. And then later on, a lot of students live in more apartment style housing. Bowdoin is known for our food. It's one of the things that we're proud of, that we have great food, but there is a genuine reason for it. In either of our dining halls, you can see a map of northern New England on the wall with different pinpoints of where we're sourcing our food from: farms and fisheries, granaries, local providers. We're really dedicated to not only supporting the local economy, but being sustainable. And our dining program is one of the ways we do that. We have over 100 chartered student organizations. So if somehow there is something that we don't have, you can propose it to Bowdoin Student Government and get funding. So the important thing about our student organizations being chartered is that they have funding, they have budgets, and thus they can have programs and activities. We also have 30+ varsity and club sports. Over a third of our students are varsity athletes, and about another third do club sports, so very popular at Bowdoin. This is a beautiful shot of campus, and it's just a reminder that we have a really close-knit campus with collaborative learning, helping each other, and this is a good transition to this concept of the common good, which Bowdoin really embraces. So if you see on this slide, the offer of the college, this is a poem, you could think of it, that our 7th president wrote and really just represents what Bowdoin is about. And this is important because on your application, this is the driver of the supplement essay. We ask you to choose a line and respond to it. So the thing with the common good is that it is totally a spectrum. So we have a McKean Center that is named after Joseph McKean, the 7th president, where students can get community service opportunities. But you know, that's not every student. We also have students who just embrace the common good in their daily lives, you know, giving a friend the notes from the class they missed, taking time to help them prepare for a test. Our students are really happy and kind and want to help each other. So I think that dedication to the common good is pervading not only the campus, but also the work that the admissions office does. And that brings us to our excellent rural and small town student resources that our admissions office has really been dedicating itself to. We have a student fly-in program called Explore Bowdoin. There's 2 rounds each fall. We do consider virality in the selection process. That Explore Bowdoin is fully funded, transportation, lodging, food, everything. You can see the link there to take the virtual tour. And if you're interested in a virtual school or campus visit, send us an email and we'll be happy to help you with that. On that visit page, you can also find the link to get onto our mailing list, which is how we can send you some physical materials as well. For student support, we have the Thrive Initiative, which has really intensive advising. It has scholar programs. It's really kind of the nexus point of all the advising and support that we offer. And that includes generally underrepresented students, including rural students. We also have emergency funding, which is through the Dean's office. And while we can't always guarantee funding, our office will work with students to make sure that they're meeting their needs, which has included urgent travel back home or getting to a job interview, for example. For more information, be sure to contact me. My email is there and I will help you. So thinking about admissions in affording Bowdoin, we are on the Common App Coalition and QuestBridge. Either app works for us, so choose one that works for you. We have 2 binding early decision rounds and then a regular decision round. There's no difference in admission for any of them, so it's up to you which one you prefer. As I said, we are test optional. About 1/3 of our applicants in the most recent years did not submit testing, and 1/3 of the entering class did not submit testing. So really no difference in chances of admission. The fee is automatically waived if you're applying for financial aid or a first-generation student, so neither parent has a 4-year degree. You just check that box in the application, automatically waived. Thinking about aid, very important. We are one of just a handful of countries in the United States that meet full demonstrated need without loans, purely need-based aid, not made on merit. If you have any questions about that at all, on our student aid website, we do have net cost calculators. Fill one of those out, get an estimate of what Bowdoin might cost your family. And if you have any questions at all, you can schedule an appointment with an aid officer and we'll walk through that whole process for you. We've also started allowing students to confirm their enrollment with a written statement through their applicant portal in lieu of a financial deposit. If you have any more questions or want more information, my contact information is on the screen. Please be in touch. Also, our website and our social media is down below. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to learn about Bowdoin College, and I hope you and your family are staying safe and healthy.